Hey there, it's Elizabeth, and I am here today to do a different type of video for you. I have been lately wanting to learn to draw faces. And so I did a couple weeks back, I did a flip through of some of the different faces that I had been drawing. Some were whimsical, some were more realistic, I guess, in a way. And then as I got more into it and I was drawing more faces, I really wanted to learn more shading, really. And so this is what I came up with. This is kind of going to be like a process video of how I do this. And it's really basically like, I guess somebody would call it a cheat. I don't know, but it works for me. So I had been inspired during the month of February by a lot of different YouTubers out there that were doing the challenge 29 faces. I did not do that challenge because I don't typically draw faces, but I was intrigued and I've always wanted to learn to draw faces. And I had gotten, I said in the last video, I had gotten Jane Davenport's book, and I would love to take a class, but right now it's just not possible due to time constraints. And so I decided I was going to get as much information as I could and as much inspiration as I could off of YouTube. And there are several people that I've been watching, and I will link them below. People that have inspired me, people that are doing faces on their art channels that I enjoy watching. And so instead of trying to list them all and perhaps forgetting some by mistake, I'll just list them all in the description below. But what I wanted to do today was come on and share with you how I've been doing these. Primarily, I'm not working necessarily on and practicing how to draw faces. I am really into learning how to shade faces. So this is what I've been doing, okay? How do I start here? Okay, I'll show you. This is how I start out, okay? I go through the internet, and it's usually like Pinterest, for instance, is a good place to go. And if you type in headshots or black and white headshots or black and white women headshots, what's going to come up is a lot of modeling type pictures, and they're in black and white. The reason I use black and white is because, quite frankly, flesh tones are very difficult and way beyond what I'm able to learn at this point. So I decided that, I was going to teach myself how to shade using, the inspiration that I get offline and on YouTube. And so anyhow, yeah, I go on something like Pinterest and I type in headshots and I come up with loads of pictures. Now, what I do is I print out on a Word document. Okay, I copy and paste. These are just random, random headshots. So I print them out in black and white. And again, the reason I do it in black and white is because it's easier for me to see the value of the color. I can easily see what's black and what's white and what's gray. Okay, so that's why I do it in black and white. So I go ahead and I print it out, and I size the picture to the size of my book. And the book that I use right now is a Strathmore, what's it called? A visual book or visual sketchbook, something like that. And it's about, let me see if I can get my ruler. I think it's like 5 by 8. Oh, I've got washi stuck to that. Oh, well. Okay. Yep. 5 inches by 8 inches. Yep. So it's 5 by 8. And so I size my photos to that size, and I print out a copy of it. Okay, then what I do is I go back to the Word document. Let me see if I can get this centered so that you can see both pictures. I go back to the Word document, and what I do next is I flip the image, right? So that now I have a mirrored image. Okay, so actually this is what I want to have in my book, or what the face I want to practice on in my book. This is the mirror image of it. Okay, so the next step that I do is I take this. Well, I'm not going to do it right now. I'll show you in just a second. I hope this video isn't forever long. But so the first thing I do is make the copies of the photos that I'd like to use as inspiration to practice with. Okay. Now, here's an example right here of the different materials that I use in order to work on my shading. Okay. I use, the first thing I use, oh my heavens, where is it? It is not here. Oh, seriously? Golly day. Oh, there it is. Okay, sorry. Whoa. The first thing I use, and I hope that you can see this. I can't see it, but I hope you can. It is a charcoal pencil, okay? A General's charcoal pencil in 4B soft, okay? So I use that. Then, and I'll show you how I use that in a second. That's for the first part of doing the charcoal transfer. That's probably what I'm going to call this video, the charcoal transfer technique. And it's basically like a process for people that are just starting out. Now, mind you, I don't draw faces normally. I'm trying to teach myself. And this is what I came up with as a way to teach myself. I hope that makes sense. So the other implements that I use are Prismacolor colored pencils. Okay. I don't know. Can you see that? Can you see the words? Prismacolor. Okay. Colored pencils. And I use them in these 5 tones. Okay. So for the shading, I use all cool gray. So I used the 20% cool gray, the 50% cool gray, and the 70% cool gray. Whoops. And then I also use black for outlining, and I use the white sometimes for whatever. Okay, so I use those. That's what I do to do the shading and everything. I just found a white charcoal pencil. So in one of the videos that I was watching, she was actually using color flesh tones, but she was using this to do highlights and everything. So I'm going to try that out at some point. Of course, I have a regular, mechanical pencil. I have a kneaded eraser, which works well, especially with charcoal, to just, dot it and lift up whatever I don't want there. And then I have a regular, polymer. And then I use my Posca, let's see here, yep, my Posca white marker, and I use that for the reflections in their eyes. And then occasionally I might use a micron just for like outlining eyes and stuff like that. But generally I use my Prismacolor pencils. So I use the microns, and I use them in 03 and 08. Now for the process after that long bit. Okay. So, sorry for the shaking too. It's, okay, we're not going to go there. Because I've tried to record this video, I can't even tell you how many times. So, this is the original photo, okay? Now, let me see if I can find in my thing here. Okay, this is the mirrored image, okay? Now, what I do, and usually this is a lot sharper, but I take my General's charcoal pencil, again, 4B soft, and you can find these at Marshall's, what am I talking about? You can find these at Michael's, okay? And what I do is, on this one here, I just do the basic outline of things, okay? Her eyebrows, some of the hair, I did in charcoal the outline of her hair, the outline of her ear, her jawline, her lips, her eyes, her eyebrows, her neck, all that. Okay, so I do the basic outlining of the shape. I don't shade any of it with this, with the charcoal or anything like that. So the first thing I do is just outline the basic shape of what I want to practice my shading on. Then I take this and I flip it over onto my paper and I rub it. Whoops, now I'm shaking the camera again. And I rub it, okay? And make sure I get all the charcoal to transfer, all right? Then once I have it transferred, I lift it up and I put it aside. And then I have a transfer, a very light transfer onto my sketchbook. Then I have the photo pasted here, the original photo, and I just use this photo as reference, and using my cool gray colors, I go through and I see, you know, her eyes are a little bit darker up here, so I darken that part. I just, you know, I look at this and then I shade it here, if that makes sense. So that's how I've been doing it. And it's just for me, because I'm just starting out, I have no idea what I'm doing because I rarely know what I'm doing. So it's just been very helpful for me to do it this way. And again, practice my shading. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I do know that I can see black and white. And so wherever it's darker, I make it darker. Wherever it's lighter, I don't make as dark, okay, if that makes sense. So here's another one that I did. Again, using the same exact principle. I print out a copy of the picture. And I found this on Pinterest. And then I do a mirror image of it. I print out a mirror image of it. And then here's the mirror image. So I take my charcoal pencil, and the reason it's not, I don't think it is anyway, maybe it is? No, I don't think it's not, what's that called? Spreading, you know, because I sprayed it with hairspray. Just because charcoal is a mess, let me tell you, it's a mess and it smudges very easily. So anyhow, I take the picture that is flipped, you know, the mirror image, and I just outline the basic shape, okay? Of her eyebrows, her eyes, her nose. You know, I don't put the shading in. I do that myself. That's how I practice. So then I flip this over again, rub it very well so that all the charcoal transfers. But when it does transfer, it just transfers a very light, you know, transfer. So that's how I did that one. And then here's another one that I did. Same thing, you know. Printed this out as the original for reference and then transferred it by mirroring it and used charcoal on it. And then I just look at, you know, the different areas, especially up here at the top of her, you know, eyelid, and that part of her eye is darker. So I try to darken it up here. There's a highlight, of course, up here. So that stays a little bit lighter. You know, wherever I see shadows on the original, I try to then put it on here. Okay. That's my sweet daughter. So I did her teeth are really hard, but anyway, I'm just practicing again. Like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I wanted to, and this is one that I'm working on now. I wanted to, learn how to do it, learn how to shade. And like I said, this was what I came up with. I'm fairly positive I'm not the first person to come up with this, but it's just, it makes it a lot easier to transfer the image and then work from a reference photo in order to practice my shading. So this is this one that I'm working on right now. And this one here, here's the, I hope you can see that. Here is the transfer, the mirrored image. Now, what I did do with this one, because her shadows are a bit darker than some of the other ones that I had been working on. So what I did was just outlining the basic shape of things. again, her face, her hair shape, her eyebrows, her eyes, her lips, her nose, things like that. And then I did go through and just lightly put some marks where the shading was a lot darker. And then when I transferred it over to here, then I could lightly see where the shading needs to be. Okay, so that's how I've been practicing my faces. I don't know, some people might call it cheating, like I said, but for me personally, it's just really been helpful. And I hope that it's a helpful tip for you guys, for those of you who are wanting to maybe look into drawing, you know, faces or practice your shading. It's a very easy way to do it. It's simply using a reference photo that you can find online and using a charcoal pencil to transfer it onto your sketchbook. And yeah, and going from there and just practice, practice, practice. That's what I've been doing. So I've been having a lot of fun with it too. And I really have been enjoying it. I think this one's my favorite one that I've done so far. And again, I have no idea what I'm doing. I mean, because like the shading here on her cheeks and stuff looks darker here than it does here. So that's why I'm doing this. That's why I'm practicing and trying to get better. And, you know, this right here is like black, you know, so I probably need to darken that and darken this over here. And again, you know, I'm just practicing in my book, and it's very relaxing. And it's just a simple way of transferring a photo so that you can practice, you know. Obviously, you know, I'm not doing this to copy someone else's work. That's why I'm using modeling pictures. I'm not trying to, you know, sell these, obviously. I mean, it's in my, you know, my practice book. So I'm trying to do a face a day, just to keep up with my practice. And anyway, I just wanted to share. I hope this video comes out okay, because this is the first time I'm filming with you guys up there. And I really hope that it works out. Like I said, I've tried to film this like a dozen times at least, and oh my gosh, what a nightmare. So anywho, I hope that this helped somebody, or can help somebody who is wanting to start out. You know, again, I've been doing this like, I don't know, 3 weeks now, 2 weeks, I think. When was the first one? Well, these are just like whimsical girls that I've done. Those came from my brain. I didn't have like a reference for those. But I started, yeah, on 3/4. And so what's today? Yeah, so a couple weeks ago, you know, I started. And as I progressed through with the, you know, trying to draw faces like these back here are whimsical, you know, some of my whimsical girls that you've seen in other videos. But then I got to a point where I was like, you know what, I really want to try to learn how to shade and learn how to, you know, draw faces. So again, this was the easiest way that I could come up with to practice, you know. And it's simple, you know, it's very simple in my opinion. You know, you make a photocopy, you charcoal it, you transfer it over to your book, you rub the photo to transfer the charcoal onto your page, and then you begin using this original photo as a reference. So where you see dark, you put dark. Where you see light, you leave it light. Again, I still need a lot of practice. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just having fun. That's all I know that I am doing, and that's what's important to me, is that I'm having fun doing it. So I will leave you there. And I hope y'all are having a wonderful day, and I thank you for joining me. And if you have any questions or comments, please, you know, feel free to leave them below in the comments section. And yeah, I'll catch you next time. It'll be either on a flip or on a ramble session. Talk to you soon.